Marcelo, yeah. You think I'm like, I want to please, tryna do more right than wrong. I broke down when I got that call. No, I don't when he ain't your song. Gotta smoke to keep me calm. Tryna do more right than wrong. I broke down when I got that call. No, I don't when he ain't your song. I gotta smoke to keep me calm. When I step up in that booth, yeah, that's my therapy. That's where I spill my pain and all my memories. Be honest with you feeling me, be real with me. I know I'm hot, nigga, fuck your coming that sound D. Hey, yo, cool, they said I was ass, gave me tomatoes. With her neck, gotta flow like this, I wait ho. I got niggas that spin the block for me like a tornado. I do the same, I told my niggas I would never change, no. It's hard to move on when you really thought it was gonna last day. I made mistakes, I admit it, when you needed me, I always came. I gotta smoke to keep my mind in the right place. People come and go, that's how it go, I don't even entertain. I sit back and I pray for them.
Mic check 1 2.
Yeah.
Welcome back and welcome, if this is your first time, to the King Status Podcast with me, your host, Mr. Mortar King, along with
EdBuck LC, a.k.a. Playboy Bucky. You know what's going on.
Mr. Prolific, a.k.a. J. Duce.
If
Do say so.
myself. Welcome, and please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Everything is in the description below, all our links, and shout out to DJ Magic on the ones and twos. Magic. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's going on?
How y'all
What's
feeling,
going
black
on?
men?
I'm good, man. Eagles bye week, chill Sunday. I don't really care about nothing. Fantasy team might do all right. You know what I'm saying? My whole team on a bye week because I got like 3 Eagles players and Pat. You know what I'm saying? So,
I like the hat too.
Yeah, I
appreciate.
I was thinking that when I first came into it. I like the style. I always like that style too, doing something
It's
like
that time of the year. Be cold, man.
I'm about to say it's
heat
that
on
time of the
now.
year.
So that's one of my favorite investments. Look at that shit. I'm missing the cap though, but hey, I can find that motherfucker.
I'm chilling though.
Yeah.
Back on life support. My Broncos is back. We had a bye week last week, so I was cool letting everybody rock out for the week. But we was coming off a good win against the Chiefs, so hopefully we can keep that going. And I've just been chilling though.
That was just like, well, I can see that happening.
And then,
I can see that happening.
Just getting back to reading a little bit like lately. So
Yeah, I've been on the same wave. I've been in and out. Definitely reading the Bible, but at the same time, I'm reading it. I posted it on the story. God's bucket list. Like, what if God had a bucket list? I put it on the page as well. Like, so just to keep everybody updated, like with our development and how real this is, like, and take you on the journey as well with this. So I'm sharing things I'm reading, and it's not just to me becoming like, holier than thou thing or nothing, which I don't think it makes you look like that, but I'm just saying like what everybody's saying just because I'm reading what's in the Bible and everything, because I still do have my belief in my faith, so I'm just diving in a little more and learning. But at the same time, it's not to say like that's the reason why I said like I'll read that, but I'm like read other books like just to really progress as well, and then just that in the meantime like have certain discussions, everything, just development, like so.
it's funny though, because I seen it. I just went and downloaded it right to my phone. I was like, what? Let me go just look at that just cause, like, cause I just like I had put up a post and they was just asking like, yo, if people knew some good books and whatever. So I got recommended I actually got a whole file of somebody. So that was cool. Shout out to her. And I just was looking through the whole little thing.
It's funny because I wonder if they sent you the same thing. I was like, I don't know why I didn't just send you the picture I had, like where I'm like, oh, this is probably what I'm gonna do if this is like what you're looking for, where it has like the subjects on the side and what's it about, like the top 5 like best ones. And on one of the books, I'm gonna definitely check out next once I'm done this one, just to say it. I'm gonna probably dive back into the Rich Dad Poor Dad book.
I downloaded that one too.
Yeah, I started reading it a while ago, but then I was just like, and then like making things happen, which ain't no excuse, but it's just more like I was like, so I didn't finish it, so when I go back to it, I'm gonna just start over again and check it out. But just things to really continue developing myself and not making those excuses. And what's one of the most simple ways you could do on a daily? Just read.
Right.
So
Facts.
So, you want to say something?
No, I said facts.
Oh no. I ain't gonna lie. You look like you was about to say something too.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
so I was
no,
just
no,
like,
no,
all right, let me like just pick it up. Like,
No,
just
no, you got it.
but nah, I ain't gonna lie, fellas. I'm in a different place. I know I would say that. Well, not so much a different place, but I feel like I'm finding more of the pathway and the purpose of what I'm doing, and like just to be more intentional with things, which is like kind of what I want to talk about today. And that is being intentional with things. Like, so like just real quick of a question, like the intention of what's the intention behind you reading books? Are there a certain type of books you want to read, or
Not necessarily, and then at the same time, yes. Like it's just like just a few books that I downloaded. Just looking through the categories and stuff like that. I just like to pick random books that just look interesting. Sometimes they got
Right.
like good names to them or whatever. But I mean, not that I don't know of them too, but
the ones with good ratings?
Yeah,
And like what
so-
everybody talk about. That's one of the reasons why, even though Rich Dad Poor Dad was gifted to me, but I was like, that's the book that everybody says, yo, it just sparked and changed this for me and everything. So I was like, yo, I want to dive in definitely more with intention. Like I always been a self-help book reader. So I'm still doing that. But I
Yeah,
probably
ain't that
will,
with Rich Dad Poor Dad? I mean, yeah, ain't that book is a self help book though, right?
yeah, like on financing, but self-help, yeah. But I probably will also dive into like stories, like real stories, like because I do just when me and Jay usually be talking about sometimes, like I eventually do want to get into learning how to really write stories out, so I can eventually, like, because if you can write a story, you can write a script. So if you can, if you could do that, like, and vice versa, I believe so.
yeah, and I feel like coming up doing so much like theatric type of things and just being funny and all of that.
Yeah.
I feel like you not
Natural
just you.
progression.
Yeah, not just say like just you, but I just mean like in general, just like the imagination. So it's like, yo, I would love to see what you would put together personally, because I feel like the same way. Like, yo, like, you know, you always like be more on me, like, yo, I want you to act, because you feel me, some of the things that you saw me do. Or whatever.
But you actually
And- yeah.
started getting training for it too,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
and
that's
that's all
respect.
how, in the little bit that you learned, how much, because the first thing you used to do, like, you used to know how to make yourself like look like you're laughing hard and just stop on a dime, like.
Like, it's funny. I was like in theater arts class, and some of the things that they had you do it, and it's like almost like improvising. Like, so they'd just be doing stuff and just have you doing a lot of like practices on the fly.
Right.
And you being in the audience, get to see how it looks, and being on stage. So it's like it's cool, because I feel like certain things like that, it kind of prepare you for like that, like how to really envision having hundreds of people in the stands when you really on stage, and then you got at least like 30 people in your class. So not to say like it feels, but well, I had a lady, like a professor, she was putting people in like random spots all over. So not to say like it felt like it was full.
I
but
can see how that worked with
yeah,
the psyche.
but it's like a psyche type of
It
thing.
would
like,
make you feel like, because now you got everywhere to look. You're not just front
Exactly,
rowing it,
yeah.
so it keeps you.
Yeah,
like,
so it was cool, like to really have that feeling, and also like have to train your mind, like, yo, all of that don't even matter, like you for me. So it's a play on so much, because your mind do start racing, like, you know, it's not something that you do every day or something that you even think like I'm ready for until you're just doing it. So it was cool.
Yeah, but to what you were talking about about writing scripts and stories and overall like storytelling, I get inspired. Like like every time like I like that might slip my mind. I'll see some great film or some great TV, like that Loki season we just was talking about. Those 2 seasons is a great story. Like like it's hard, that is something so hard to do. Kind of like, even like if you go keep in the Marvel world, the Avengers first 10 years by accident is some of the greatest storytelling ever, because
Right.
it all connects, and that's why it's so hard for them to recreate it. But like that is inspiring to me, because it feels like there's still a level to achieve. Like, because then you look at other movies, and like even in like the Barbie and the Oppenheimer shit, like just being able to command the box office for months with a story you made about already established character.
But yeah, and then like what you were saying, especially because we were talking about the character development. That's what made me really appreciate what I'm paying attention to, and like, yo, you got to know how to really bring real life, make that thing feel completely real. And that's the type of things I pay attention to when I'm watching people like act. I'm like, yo, they're making a real scenario, make you feel real, make you feel like you're in it.
Right.
But they're literally like when they go, just like how we got right here when them cameras like, all right, cut, and you're like, all right, good job, Bob. Like
Right.
that was good. Thank you. Like the way you smacked the hell out of me, it's it was believable.
Now, I think that's like a big thing. Like as far as dialogue, I feel like that's
Yup.
so crazy to me. Like, cause I always think of like, was it?
Because as an adult, the dialogue like that like I'm paying attention. Like how I said, I went back and watched the last season, the first season last episode, and the second season last episode to really pay attention, like how it all like okay, how this scene aligns with that scene and like the dialogue between it. But I think that comes with being older. Like you pay attention to what's being said more.
Even that comes with me from being podcasters. Like I view all conversation now as dialogue, even on the script, how we are on here, and you got to critique yourself based on that dialogue. Like even to a sense, like let's say I tell a story on here, I want to make it the best sounding. I might embellish a little to make it sound good for the content we're producing. It's still true in a sense, but I'm telling a story for it to be compelling, and that's kind of like how I see all dialogue like that. Like that, once I figure that shit out, it kind of makes me always work. Like even when I'm regular talking to you, I'll be like, yo, make sure you use the right kind of words, and it will get like try and get as animated as you can without even moving your hands, because sometimes that'll bring out more creativity, because we'll do this to describe something and that really is really helping the person viewing, but it's basically using your words less.
I definitely understand you, because psychologically a lot of times you never know, like because like you said, talking with your hands, people can get focused on your hands more than what you're saying. So I definitely agree with that.
And you yourself, because it's like, oh, this isn't working for me. They're getting it. I don't have to use that word that I couldn't think of at the time, where in this I need to, because it's a video and audio experience. Like probably gonna put some episodes on other DSPs eventually. So I want to make sure I'm just speaking out everything I'm trying to explain.
And I believe this all still ties into the topic of being intentional, like why and what we pay attention to, and why we pay attention to it in certain ways that we do. That's why when I'm paying attention, I'm really like, man, they're grasping my attention so much, but they're on the set, but I feel like it's real. When am I going to get to that level of creativity to make you feel like you're there, make you feel it, but it's
funny.
fiction.
That's how I feel in my dreams. Before you like, I'll see that and like I'll be like, I got the story, and I'll be in my story so deep in my dreams that I gotta like jot down a little bit, and it's just like that's a point in life that I'm working towards to get the time to be able to do that.
I was about to say it's such a talent, bro, to really be able to write out a conversation and bring it to life, like without improvising it, like knowing that. Well, I ain't gonna say it's not always completely improvised, because I know a lot of stuff on set is
Now, at the same time, I'm not saying the acting part. I'm not saying that, because I would say sometimes it depends on if you have done it or not, because at the same time, what made me start writing books is because I was like, wait, I used to write lyrics, so why can't I write books? Hey, I write books. Why can't I write a script? It's writing, and it all ties into like the intention of what I'm going for, and that is to make you feel it. Music, I want you to feel what I'm saying.
Right.
When I'm writing, I want you to feel like the message I'm bringing. So, with the script writing, I was like, oh, I feel like that's just another level of creating a whole scene that may be fictional, but you may tie it from real life and reality, real moments and things that have happened to you.
You feel like your purpose is tied to directly invoking emotion, like at every turn, your kind of goal is to always get somebody to feel something, whether that be through the music, through the books, through their scripts and future films and stories, whatever you choose to do. That's all gonna be around that same feeling. Do you feel like that's like part of like your?
Well, I'm gonna be honest and open up. Yes, to answer your question, yes. But no, but. And where I was saying where I'm in this new place in my life right now, where it's like not really new, but it's given, now I feel like I have more of the direction I want to go in. When I really thought about what type of books I write, what we talk about on the podcast, like what we've been displaying and what's been getting the most reaction. Not saying that's definitely the intention, but of course we want to, I say like, I don't want to ever be a gimmick Really, like if I'm going to do it, speak some real things. I want to actually help somebody. So the things that have been going on, when I think about how I am, who I am to him, when I think about the calls I get when a new show drops and it's one of those episodes where we're really being vulnerable and we're really helping somebody in a situation where we may not be talking about their situation, but they say it helps them. And I feel like that's the message I definitely was doing with my children's books, is the feeling of knowing, hey, there's a way out. You have to get out your own way, but always believe that, hey, you are the king, queen, ruler of your world. I'm not going to say God, but you ultimately control who you are, what you want to be. So a lot of things, when like I would probably say, and I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words because I want to get it like what we were just saying. Like I do want to get a hold on the what I'm saying and clearly, but those intentions are the things I dealt with. So when he's sitting there on camera saying, "Man, I'm watching you attack your insecurities and things I know that you're insecure about, I see you working through them." But the fact of the matter is, he said that on camera. So he became the proof of what he was saying that other people may not see behind the scenes, that we get the text messages, hey, this is helping. But it's like, hey, if I'm like that to him, I'm like that to this person, that person, that person, that person. But I still want my message to be a certain way, which the podcast is, where I'm seeing. And one of the things I know we talked about before is when I said I was told you have to start seeing yourself the same way people see you, and get out your own way, which we talk about a lot. So one of the things, when I looked at it, I was like, wait, if it's helping these people, I'm seeing the engagement certain things have to say, even if everyone's not just lit, it's still, wait, you have something to say that people are willing to listen to and they feel. But what is the intention behind it? So people don't have to feel like what I felt like, what you felt like, what he felt like, things that he dropped tears on this camera for. And I feel like that's the intention where I really learned, hey, we're a podcast of personal development. That's what we stand on. That we stand on being intentional with your dreams, with who you are, how you live your life, to empowering each other. And I feel like that's the role when I really look at where the podcast goes and where my books go. It's like that's what ties into it. But that's the part of me that I know I can give the 100% real in helping people through, is if you deal with low self-esteem, you deal with lack of self-confidence, you don't know, you didn't grow up with the reassurance, but that's what we're here for. And I feel like that's the intention behind every message. That's why the intentional conversation was such a big thing that I was thinking about. Why I asked, hey, what kind of books are you reading, and why are you reading? Like, have a goal set in mind is basically what I'm saying. Like, what is the goal behind that? I know, hey, I have to keep developing my brain. I can't just sit around just on social media all day. Like, depending on what you look at, yes, you can learn, but sometimes you have to go back to the old school way and like really feeding your brain so that way you can develop yourself. I hope I'm not rambling.
No, even if you feel like you are, it's a powerful message, because it's just like like the intentions of being intentional is basically like it's bro, it's hard to really put into words after everything you said. But
no, he killed it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's hard to really try even like put more on top of it, because it's like, yo, you really hit it on the nose to everything you were saying. I was just more so going to finally answer the question of the intentions of some of the books I was reading.
All right,
but because I gotta look at them again too. But I know the one I was telling you about was the small talking, like having to like understanding that, yo, everything can't just be straight at people, because not everybody receives things like as well as I might. just like, yo, I don't like the prolonged stuff. Get to the point. Like
Mm-hmm.
some people, you know, they want to get in their bag. They want to see if you can just hold conversation. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
some people like to play on stuff like that just to see, like, oh, okay, he really is a well-rounded person.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, we can give him a shot. So
And with me personally, it's the where I plan to see myself, like where we're headed, with the direction I'm headed in. I'm like, let me start preparing myself more. Why? Because I definitely said, excuse me, like what we were always saying when you saying like, yo, you're on stage and you're working on the psychological part of it, like where everybody's spread out, so it teaches you to just like know how to be in front of the crowd, even if it's not a lot of people, but they're spread out. It creates that, and that's why even the way we talk sometimes, I sometimes I really sit in here like it's a live audience in here. So and I try to prepare myself for the stage. I am preparing myself for the stage because I know what's coming. I know the big stage is coming. It's in the near future. So let me start preparing for that. Let me start preparing myself to when I talk, people feel me even more. How can I translate what I'm saying to you, what I say to you, what I say on this camera, what I say in my private conversations to an audience, which I started with my children's books, but I have to be more intentional. And some of those things, and I'm not saying the children's books because I feel like those were the first things I really ever did where the intention wasn't money first. And everything now, and the reason why I say it, it's starting, I feel like it's starting to align with, because like how they said, when much that's given, much is required. And at the same time, sometimes what comes with success is your responsibility. But at the same time, none of this is for money purposes, because it's more of that's the plus side of it. Right. That's why I said like my goals for 2024 that I wrote out are really not completely different, but mainly different from how I used to write, because I'm like, I'm writing the goals. Of course, I still got the monetary goals in the back of my head, but it's like, wait, if I develop me, I'll just attract everything else. Like when they all say, yo, everything else becomes a plus, but you gotta work on who you are. So that's why the intention of things, where it's like, wait, I'm not doing a podcast just to entertain. What's my real message behind it? How can I really help somebody? When I do books, it's definitely not the books, because that takes time, right, and everything too. But it's, how can I help someone else? Let me stop being so money driven and really see how I can help. Because like I said, some of the messages I get after somebody says they watched the show and how much it helped off of what any one of us may have said. And I was like, man, that feels so much more special to me, because I may not be talking about your situation in particular, but what we're talking about is helping you at the right time, which may save a life. We don't know who we may be talking off the edge. So I feel like everything now is coming more from a place of who I am on the inside, and not money driven. When I'm reading books, let me help myself, because I'm seeing how my leadership and my mentality, my attitude has helped even my household. Because again, if I can't help my household, how can I help an audience, a community?
right.
If I can't help my brothers, how can I help a community? If I can't help myself, how can I help anybody?
Right.
So that's why, even when you're saying, that's why I'm glad that it did, because I didn't look at it that way when the first clip came out, episode 30. Yeah, episode 30. So it was episode 31. I mean, so like when you saying that on camera, like, yo, I watched you and I'm seeing things you were insecure about and how you've overcome that. That's why I said you saying that became the proof, because you're asking a question, but so I didn't have to say, hey, this is helping me. The proof was him saying, I see it on you. So what does that do? You watching me, it helps you.
Right.
To be better. Even some of the things you said in outside conversations that I ain't gonna say, but it's just more of how motivated you got, because you're like, man, I'm watching you do this and I know what you came from, but you still putting me in a position helps me be more of that anyway. I hope I'm not rambling.
No, this
Hey
is,
man, ain't nothing wrong
My
with a little
dog just say look
monologue.
like he
Hey man, hey man.
this one-
So
this one of them
you've
ones
been
that-
chilling. You ain't get
Yeah.
you ain't get your shit off in a
Yeah.
couple weeks, and you
right.
needed to get your shit off. So
yeah,
ain't
nah, that's
nothing
why I
wrong
feel
with
like
it,
this
brother.
one of them like that's really your teaching moment. Like you've been feeling like everything that you've been saying is what you've been feeling like, but you ain't really get a chance to really say it how you wanted to. Like you might throw little gems out there like but like how you talking now, I can tell like I feel it like it's like, everything that you feel me. You walking in what you becoming more or less like.
and that's why I said the intentional part. Like that's why I said when I said this podcast is mainly personal development, and like I said, because some of the messages I'll get, even another recent, not necessarily a stranger, but a stranger like, and he said, "Man, y'all pod is dope. It reminds me of this pod." So I'm definitely gonna. He said when the first live show y'all have, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
Like, but what?
Nah, cause I'm about to say it funny. I'm like, yo, my boy really feel so much about what he's saying. I never even got to tell him the books. I was
I've been peeped that. I'm over here. That's why
But-
I'm like, let him.
But it's
Nah,
funny
just funny.
because
I'm not
That's why-
cutting
because
niggas
I'm
off,
keeping it in the
let
back
him
of my head. Like I'm like, yo, because I really do want to hear, just in case there's some things I want to check out. That's why I definitely was like,
No, he got that list about 3 times since you just said it. Let me just double check it. Let me bring it
make
back
sure.
up, refresh.
No, and the reason why I'm saying to keep remembering,
Make sure this
'cause
don't go
it's
off
like in my
screen when I
face,
get
so
my
I'm like,
chance.
go ahead.
Let me make this my lock screen real quick.
Because you really talking is real informative, and I like everything that you're saying because it's helpful, like you said. But it just got funny. That's why I'm like, yeah. So I read the book. Yeah.
This nigga said, "Am I rambling?" And went to talk more. Shit was hilarious. I'm
Nah,
cracking
I
the
ain't
fuck up
rambling.
over
Nah,
here. And he didn't even give a fuck. He asked that question to clear the space. Hey, you niggas say something. I'm about to talk again. I'm rambling. No, I know. More game, nigga.
That's why
More game.
I keep looking at Jay like, because I'm like,
Another
yo, he looked like he want to say something. So I'm like, all
Another
right, let me
one.
wrap up what I'm saying.
Another one.
razor blades.
But
Ball
what
Nah.
books do you read?
Nah, so the ones that I was working on that I was I was reading was this one specifically, like I said, the small talking one. I got one, attitude. Attitude is just superpower because I know personally like around like I kind of always had a stinky attitude coming up as a kid, but I remember like when my grandmother passed, it just got real bad. Like I just had like no cares in the world. Like so, when I saw it, I just wanted to read it. Period, because I'm like, yo, I worked so hard on my attitude and stuff like that I was like, I would be doing myself a disjustice not reading it.
So he said that, and I was like, I got another thing I could talk about.
That's all you.
This one,
Then he gave you the open. You said, Marcus, motherfucker.
I definitely did.
I ought to go right now, but I've been going, but I gotta go.
I definitely did do that. He definitely saw my body language. I definitely was like, yo,
this one was called Exactly What to Say. This was the one I was learning, like how to like really talk and be fluid in speaking and saying certain things. Like instead of saying "but," is they say you're supposed to say "however." And I know that's a good one because me and my lady, we like to always joke and say everything after the "but" is bullshit. So that it keep us super on focus to say yo, however. So it makes things.
you do say however a lot. Now I think about it.
That was a big one that I really took from that book because I was like, yo, I kind of hate to say "but" now because I'm like, yo, it do kind of kill everything that you said, like everything that you say when you like if you're trying to make a point, it's like yeah, but and it's like oh, so that's just some bullshit, then. So, the book of self-care, self-discipline was two books I definitely wanted to like log in because I felt like some things I need to be more self-disciplined in. And another one was how to be an adult in relationships. was a huge one at the moment when I grabbed it because it was just like turmoil in the relationship, and I'm like, yo, it's so new. I didn't want it to keep going as bad as it started becoming. So I'm just like, yo, maybe if I change my approach and maybe how I respond to things or how I come off to things, maybe it'll help So
And a lot of what, like, when you talked about the attitude, that's one of the real things I really realized, that a lot of people, that's the only thing really in their way sometimes. It's just their attitude, how they look at things. And that's why one of the things I say now is, like, just because it's raining outside, just because the weather's bad doesn't mean it's a bad day.
exactly.
Like, and that's how people sometimes, because that's the most natural thing. Some people wake up, oh, it's pouring outside, this day about to be bad. But why? And then, like you said, with the like thoughts, you start, now everything after that, it's gonna be a bad day. You just created a bad day because you woke up, decided to look out the window just because the sun wasn't out. You saying, oh, it's a horrible day already, and your feet ain't even touched the floor yet. You just opened your eyes, so you already dictated what your day's gonna be. But if you wake up and still wake up, today's gonna be a good day. You're gonna have a good day, because there's many times we said that. It's times even before the pod. Oh, this person ain't showing up. Oh, still gonna be a good day regardless. Like, we're gonna figure it out, because then after that, that's when you allow what they've done, like somebody not showing up, to empower your day. And the one thing I am about, which is why I say, when I say that, the entrepreneurial spirit, I guess, why I say that was such a thing, even as a teenager, because I believe only God can have power over my life. So when you see man have certain type of empowerment over you, it just doesn't sit well with me, and that's just me. It's not against, like, oh, it's not saying I never had a job or anything, but it's still like certain things where it's like they can tell you, if I say, yo, I'm taking this time off to go on vacation, you can't take that time off. Things like that just burn in me, like, because it's definitely like because I know I'll come and work hard too. I show up, I work hard. So if I can't even get that, then it's like, man, I don't even have empowerment over something I really wanted to do. And because this person just says, well, you can't because I need you. And it's like, wait, but I need myself as well. The intentions of when you take a vacation or you rest. And this is one of the things I was reading, and where it says, yo, sometimes you just got to look at, like, some of us think not doing, taking a vacation is doing nothing, which is things I have dealt with. Like, man, I'm wasting time. But it's like, no, sometimes you just really need that mental rest. Like, yo, go have fun so you're not thinking about this. Take time. That's why when we do take vacations, I really try to just shut everything out. I'm like, that's why when it's like, okay, when I get on this flight, that's going back to reality. But when I'm here, I get to, like, I'm going to be who I am.
I feel like coming up, I feel like that's why I was so big on just always having that time to just have fun and stuff. Cause I'm like, yo, you really work hard and really overdo it for yourself when you really in that mode of trying to get it, like, to get there. Not you specifically, but
I mean, but
you,
me
I was about to
specifically.
say, but you do. I'm about to say you do count. But I'm just saying, like, coming out, I just know a lot of people used to always just be like, yo, you just, like, you know, people would be mad that you take 2 vacations in like a month's time, and it's like, bro, it's 365 days in a year, bro. Like, how many of them days are you working so hard, like, that you might just get your little rest on your 2 days off? But outside of these extended days that you're taking, how many of these days are you actually getting to do this? So it's like, yo, people be so hell-bent. It's like, bro, out of this 365, bro, 334 you working extra hard on. Like, bro, these little 14, you feel me? However, man, I ain't do the math. That was just wild. But I think that was what.
All right, cool.
I just was throwing numbers out there, but
you
what I say?
subtracted
What
one.
I say? 334.
I thought you said 365 and then 364.
No, I definitely
he
didn't say
didn't.
364.
No, he didn't say that.
I think I said 334 is like 21 days.
Yeah, but
like I'm saying, just out of the 365, you take a little 21 days periodically at that. It's like, bro, that's not gonna kill you. Like,
and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm learning with this too. Like I said, what it said in the book too, which is why I'm glad I started reading again, because of those things where it's like, it's okay to just take a second, especially because the way my 2023 looked, it's like
31.
I've been like I feel like I've been nonstop, including the like doing the show, even though the show doesn't feel like work, but at the same time, to somebody else, it may look like that when it's like, my family. That's why when I leave the show, usually my day is dedicated to my family, and I won't work on anything because I want to. Okay, let me at least make sure I'm taking that time out because it's really a hard balance. And the reason why, and I understand why a lot of us may do it, because a lot of us we didn't figure it out yet necessarily. We're all in the building stage still. So nobody technically made it yet. So for us to feel like we can really like not be on the grind so heavy. And even when we go back to the everybody in the building stage, you can't really take a hiatus.
I don't think there's ever in a hiatus. I think there's always going to be work. That's what I was about to say. Like me and my growth as an entrepreneur and a person myself that's similar to you that wants to govern myself in all aspects. And that is still, you kind of see the job's point in certain things. Like when you start to become employee and employ people, and you see what happens if you allow this to take off and you miss this, especially in this when it's something that you can. Your moment to blow is any moment. So anytime you take off could be a potential time that you could have blown in your mind. So it's also about but that's when you come into scheduling. Like a lot of jobs don't allow you to schedule, so that's where the issue comes be. But you can schedule out. Like say we had to take a vacation. All right, let's double up on film, and we're gonna film 2 episodes a Sunday for the next 4 episodes, so we can take some time off. We got that off. You don't gotta take for a month off, but you got enough time that if you need to. And that's just when it comes to proper planning for like those situations. And you kind of learn those as you develop in your skill. And it's kind of like what you were talking about earlier with intentions. Like I feel like my intentions on my media careers and on-camera personality is more of an informative and get the mind working in more ways than it has to. Because currently we're in a society where we get told what we think from various things on our phone. Like, you pick out the app, they telling you how to think, how to look, where to look at, and especially the younger generation. So I dream to always be combative to like the status quo and be informative to the knowledge I've gained on where, you don't have to do whatever they tell you to do. Like most society is working against you. It's trying to keep you in a certain way and track because that's how this thing keeps going. And we see the situations when those tracks go off and our government can't react properly. So it's just like you got to figure out, like you said, your intentions, what you do. And once you figure out that, it becomes kind of an easier process when it doesn't feel like work because it's work, but it's work for a higher purpose.
Right. And you have more of a lane. You're not still in so much of the figuring out. That's why I said like, now I feel the difference in what my message is because of the it's like if I came on here trying to make this a comedic podcast, but nobody up on here is trying to be a comedian. So why would I take that direction?
Huh? I think I'm pretty funny.
No. But I'm saying, but your intentions aren't to be a comedian though, is what I'm saying.
To be entertaining.
Yeah, but I'm saying like we just came on here just trying to be completely funny. That's why I was like we just laugh at what we naturally joke on and everything. Yeah. So what I'm saying is like if my intentions were to be a comedian, I would just always say funny shit. Just let's throw up a clip of laugh at this person falling off a bike or something like. But if that's your intention, that's your intention. That's fine. Like so because there's also nothing because there's a place for comedians too. Like they bring joy to us. They like so that and a lot of times that's why when they're going through things they always say like we're going through things and their job is because they still feel good about making the world happy. They don't like even though
and
they
some
may not be
people understand
happy.
A different level of that of I might do this because it's my natural talent to get my message to be here. Like you get your Tyler Perry's who worked a certain way to get his message to be here. Same thing with similar comedians. Like I don't think the way you start describes how you finish. Whatever you're great at, be great at it. And if you can still remain yourself in your success and get and then return true, like kind of like a Dave Chappelle when it was all comedy. But now the comedic stand-ups ain't really comedy. Those are public addresses. Like I'm telling y'all my thoughts and my opinions to hopefully somebody else can see that it's okay to think like this. Right. And that's kind of how I see my spot.
That's funny that you said that because I was about to say he's amazing at that. Like as far as everything seeming like it's just fun and games, but everything he's saying that really hit like, he talking about that. Like
so. And like I said, that's the reason why I don't I won't be up here and not saying like, oh, we'll still have a music artist guest and everything, because sometimes, like, well, a lot of times you got to give the medicine wrapped in a candy wrapper. Sometimes, like, but it's still like, but then at the same time, I'm like, yo, but my intention still with these music artists is because I'm still around it and I still want to help. I'm still there, and it's still like we're helping them as well and helping people
And
build.
we found out last episode you still an artist, so fuck out of here. You know
I did
what I'm
not
saying?
find that out.
We did find that out.
Did not find that out.
Nigga, Millie been listening to Rick Ross.
I heard you got 3 track offers and outside, nigga. It's new music coming soon, guys. Just wait on it. You know what I'm saying? King Status Records. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Millie been listening to Rick Ross lately. He said put the medicine in the candy wrapper.
Yeah, yo.
No. And I'm not saying because there's still a musical dream. It's not me doing the music though. It's just like I'm orchestrating it.
Oh,
Put it
so
that
you
way.
putting the medicine in the candy wrapper.
So it's still that, and that's why I was like, I still give them me, which is why I like, even when I may say a cuss word or talk about something, it's like, that's the reason why I say no. Don't paint me to be a holier than thou person. But what my intentions are really pure. I'm really trying to help somebody not have to deal with some of the things that we talk about on this show and that we actually are helping people with. So, and I think when you have intention behind it, that means there's usually a goal behind it. And it's whatever your goal is, just have intention behind it. Like, just what the intention is. Why are you doing this? What is your why? Like, are you reading because you want to be a better person? Are you reading because you want to learn how to write better? Are you reading just because, like, you want to be entertained? It's one of those. But I think when we have that type of set in mind, and I think that's the difference with my goals, what my goals were, it's like I had the goals, but I didn't really have the intention. Why do I want that? Or why do I want to do that? When I get to that level, how am I going to use it? What am I using my platform for? What is the, because a lot of, like, just to be transparent, because a lot of it is what is the Mr. More the King brand? What do people see when they look at me? Because when they see us, all 3 of us, it's something different. So it's like, what is the Mr. More the King brand? It's like how he's Playboy Bucky. But I'm like, but when we said that, I'm like, wait, if you know him, like I'm like that's his.
But also he got to start in himself making sure that because it's a brand right now.
Mm-hmm.
So even right now, like if you look it up, do you see you like that? Like that's when you say those certain things to me. Like in my branding, it is very intentional of everything I do, everything I say, and how I plan to put it out. And just the different things, because that's kind of like the key to, I think, being successful in everything you do, is making sure that the thing that they can't live without is you. Like if somebody get up and put anybody in your seat because the audience isn't really attached to you, the person, just the show, it definitely does something different to the mind and psychology. That's why some shows are able to, no matter what, we can switch this cast up and some aren't. I.e., you got NBA on TV, then you get to Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp. They can switch it up with the guests because, I bought into Stephen A. Whoever he sit with, we going to watch. And then if he brings somebody with their own audience, like Shannon, oh, yeah, we going to. So who was the old guy? We don't really care no more. Who cares about Matt Kellerman? Or like, but some casts who are, the brand is them and who they are authentic themselves, like NBA on TNT, like you need Shaq, Charles, Ernie, and Kenny. And you need that because that's the show. Because each of them individually are established brands, and who they are on the show is just an extension of that.
And they can give you different backgrounds. Like Shaq can talk about having 5 championships. Charles Barkley can't. Like,
hey, yo, you just shot at that Buck.
4. You're right. 4. Shaq had 4 championships, but no, it's not a shot. It's just real. It's like that, and I think that's why when we watch them win like Stat 5 and the Matt Barnes, it's even doper because then now we can hear the locker room stories, the thing that happened behind the scenes. And why I agree with you is it's the simple fact of I realize a lot of messages get to me easier when it's a black male talking. Because that's who I relate to. That's when it's like I can talk to them about like, yo, but when you see like police brutality, they understand. Like we can come to that where we can feel each other. So when they have a solution, it's like, oh, I can take it more from you because you're from where I'm from. You're from we have the same struggles, so to speak. So, and which is why I always keep bringing up, like, even him shedding tears on the camera, how important that was, because it's just because he's Playboy Bucky, this is king status and what we do and how we talk with confidence and what we do. It was still a journey that he had to go through and that he's still going through. So even like after that, and you said to him, yo, tears are part of the process. We're not about to act like none of us have dropped them for where we're heading and what the path we're going to. Huh?
Cried last week like a little bitch. You know what I'm saying?
You did?
Yeah. Got caught up with one of them little Instagram things where they want you to post a memory. Try to find a picture of my grandparents, couldn't. And that shit broke my dad. Then everything you put on yourself kind of can fly back in those moments to where like, yo, you might be over some shit, but it's still some remnants there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. The picture I doing too, because it was just like, you know what I mean, still got it on the chain and everything. Like, yo, I remember the day, like, remember the moment, can see it like it was yesterday, like, see it how I'm looking at y'all type stuff. So it's like,
for me, I remember the feeling, like the feeling of just feeling like I had that person that had me, no matter what, just me, no matter how else anybody else. But for me, this person, just whatever I needed, they provided. And that could be emotional, that could be financial, that could just be a clear space to think. And not having that just kind of threw me through a loop. But, I mean, it's those moments, though, and why you're always a work in progress. Mm-hmm. Like, shit like that, it didn't deter me. It just was like, yo, you needed that. Get that out. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember, like, that reminds you of why you work so hard. Because, like, yo, you got to have you, no matter what.
You got to remember also that that's part of your story and the steps, because there, without test, there's no testimony. That was a dope ass quote I heard. Without test, there's no testimony. So when we're bringing up the stories, and then even in the future, when things are lit and things are looking good and really up there, I can't imagine the things that we're gonna open up more about when the things that we're not in anymore. So now we feel more comfortable, and I think that's one of the better reasons why, even when we're talking and the things we put on the table, because it helps. I always say too, that helps the real healing process, because now you took accountability and you said it out your mouth, and now you said it to other people. You didn't keep it bottled in. So that becomes I always say, once you say it out loud, don't let nobody to hurt you with it anymore, because you chose to allow that in the world. You didn't have to say that. So, and that's how I look at it. When I openly admit things and I put things on the table, that's really like the huge beginning of like the huge hurdle of the healing process.
It's funny because mine, it's like the end. Like once I say it, it's because I dealt with it. Like I sat down, I evaluated my emotions, and yeah, they both work. Still, I'm not saying they don't. It's just funny that you say yours is the start, mine's the end. Like once I said it, it's like, oh yeah, this is, for me, it's kind of like even like getting over that girl that you thought you never could. Like once you can, it's like, oh shit, I can handle anything now in this realm. Something like that. Like once I'm over something, like I can joke on it, I can play around with it because I understand it. I dealt with it. It has no control or bearing over me. That's why like I'm big on telling everybody that I wit and I manage in different situations that, yo, control your own emotions and be you regardless.
Right.
The moment you allow outside factors to affect you, it changes who you are, and that you shouldn't be that. If you are sturdy in who you want to be and who you are to this world, then you can control how you want to be. So if somebody comes in upset, complaining about something, you can't take on that emotion. You just, hey, you be polite, nice. Hey, they can get as mad as they want. Now, sometimes people take it too far, and you might gotta switch, but that's not the same as you coming in and meeting the energy. That's you handling something at its peak.
And you brought up something. I was probably going to save it, but it's one of those things about like when you say meeting that energy, where I feel like a lot of people, that's a lot of their problem too. They start meeting the energy. Also, that ties into you want to be like you trying to be other people that you're not. And that's one of the reasons why when I say, yo, when I really paid attention, when I look from the outside, okay, what does my brand look like? Like King Status, we talk about this. My books talk about the same thing. So, and that's something I ultimately dealt with, and that people watch me go through a healing process, especially our loyal followers and watchers. I said, and then like I said, him saying it on camera showed, hey, that I have a witness to what you saw, but you as well, like you seen, like I wasn't this person when you met me. it's certain things I had to go through. I had definitely the trial and error stage, like, but also the finding who I am, like learning who I am again, building my identity. Who, like, what is the message? Like, that's why it's like, I don't want to look like I'm doing things like everybody else. Even if I'm doing the same thing, I don't want to look like I'm doing like. I can say what's the difference where you'll find, like, when you come watch this. If somebody says, "Oh, what do we need another podcast for? Why should I watch your podcast?" Well, one of the things we always complain about is this misguided youth, and that's what my podcast is trying to help. We saying we need more men in the community to talk and speak up like this. That's what we're doing. So and that's the intent, and that's the intention behind it. It's just now I'm really like, oh, now I have a name for it. I have a subtitle for it. But I'm like, this is personal development with a hint of jokes, sports, and entertainment, but it's mainly personal development and like what we're talking about now. So,
this episode is called Marcus's Monologue, and you can find this audio adventure soon in his upcoming memoir called Marcus.
But
a deeper story.
Hey,
but go ahead.
he lowered his eyes and everything like he was doing. This is Marcus monologue. but again, it's the meeting people and their energy, and I always feel like that will never solve an issue. Honestly, now that I think about it, like I was like, and these are things I had to learn. It's like arguing with your significant other. It's like sometimes, especially like if you're like, and just for clarity, if you're like if you're with your woman, you're man and woman.
Hey,
I'm just saying, just for clarity, because just now.
You about to get a shot at whoever you want to be with. You be with.
Yeah.
He's talking about a situation where he was with a woman.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And yes. Okay. Thank you, Jay. Politically correct answer.
Hey,
but
man.
I'm just saying. Like,
I know what community not to fuck with.
But it may also. You know what? As a matter of fact, it doesn't just have to be that, because the same thing can be with
anybody,
an older person and a younger person. It's the. Sometimes when you meet when they're not mentally there or mentally capable, or if they're in an adolescent mind, sometimes you can't always meet that energy. It's almost like the same thing.
That's like the old person talking to a young person, right?
Yeah. That's why I said, and it doesn't even have to be a relationship. It could be just like, because I can say, like, me personally, I feel like I don't argue with people who don't have bills or responsibilities, because I'm like, you can't really fathom some of the things I have to
argue
go
with anybody, so try it, motherfucker.
No, but I'm saying, like,
I argue with my 4-year-old.
No. You'll debate anybody, but you're not going to be yelling at the top of your lungs, on fire, angry, mad.
I don't do that at all.
And that's what I mean, to clarify. Like, so full of emotions. Like, that's why I'm like if somebody's like, if somebody's. Like I said, the reason why the example, and I apologize, but the example I'm using is saying why I say I may not argue with somebody who have bills and responsibilities, because if you're mad about something, it's obviously something that I dealt with in my adolescent years, my immature years. Because then if we're talking about certain things like,
You got some people with that upper echelon, they got a gold spoon in their mouth that don't have to do that because of either their hard work at a younger age or current hard work to where they don't worry about bills. So they might, again, because they never saw that plight.
But that's different. Like, cause then,
but you still gonna have
if we're saying you're not going to argue at the top of your lungs on fire with somebody who was spoon fed when you got it out the mud.
Oh no! I mean, no. I don't see.
Well, my point is, of course, because then if you're in a place where you're living comfortably and all that, who are you really arguing at the top of your lungs over nothing?
Oh yeah, I don't do that with anybody. But I mean, that's just me personally as a person. Like my girl sees it as like a flaw, like that I don't raise my voice, that I'm very reserved when it comes to like I use emotion in a conversation, very pinpoint in it on purpose. So like that's why I say, like, even when I consider dialogue and being able to speak, I can use emotion. I can get in here and yell at Eddie like a motherfucker about some shit I can give zero fucks about. And once we end, bro, I was just fucking with you. You good? Make sure. But
that's
is
the debate.
that type of thing. Well, but no, I'm using the words you said were at the top of your lungs. I'm saying I don't have that.
No, but I'm saying
gear
you're
in
on
those
fire,
type of
you're
conversations.
mad, you're angry, foaming out the mouth. That's what I mean. But
Even if you think I am, I'm not. That's my thing.
no,
like,
but we're not talking about. I'm talking about if you are, if somebody is. That's what I'm saying. It's not like
that's what I'm saying. Is I heard me to get that way.
No, because you saying that clarifies more what I'm saying. Because the way you don't react, so you didn't cause more problems in your house. Because then when you meet people's energy, sometimes it can only get worse because now they're not hearing logic. Everybody's hearing emotion. Because now when it's like when you start throwing, like when you raising your voice and then somebody else starts raising their voice, like they raising their voice at the top of their lungs and then you start doing it, now it becomes why? Because I had this happen to me too. Well, why are you yelling? You start, I'm like, you was just yelling at me for 10 minutes. What you mean? Like, but that's why I'm like, but sometimes they won't see logic because then you're meeting that energy. So that's why sometimes
that's why us as men sometimes can't handle those conversations with women because sometimes they don't want to see logic. They want to see emotion. But they want to see that you care. They want to see that you feel something. So sometimes we'll be arguing. But I'm saying how these situations get me into. That's what I'm saying. Where you said sometimes I don't cause any harm. By not showing emotion, you can cause harm where somebody feels like, well, you don't care enough. Yeah. And that's what I'm speaking about in that situation where sometimes it is definitely, it depends on what the person's needs from you in the situation, develop what kind of energy you can give. But you also have
to establish, and this is why I'm saying, why I say like certain things, when you establish, because you still say you won't do it, but you can still show that you care by interacting. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying don't interact, but I'm like, yo, when you meet people's energy, sometimes it's only gonna make it bad. Why?
Because, well, that's what I'm saying. It's not only. It just depends on the realm of the content. That's all I'm saying. For context to that, there is some moments in life to where you may need to be emotional. It even goes back to, I'll take it to a sports analogy. Sometimes that coach is yelling at you to get that emotion out you that you could bring it onto the field. He's not really trying to really teach you nothing in the moment, but he's trying to get something started in you by having a certain type of conversation that fires you up to get you into that mindset where he's seeing you dominate.
Direction. I'm saying when we meet people's energy, because people have that type of stuff happen.
Because the coach wants you to raise up and meet. The coach is amped and ready. He yelling at you to raise up and get you amped and ready. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes.
So what does the player do back?
He gets amped up. That's what I'm saying. He meets him at the emotional point. He don't stay calm. He's like, he like the goal is to get him, and then go ahead in the game.
And that's not what I'm talking about.
And then you taking that emotion and you just got from me onto a positive situation where you can win.
No, because this is what I mean. The athlete didn't match his energy. If the coach is mad, he's not sitting there angry with him.
Listen, again, mad. Those are things that you can put on unless somebody says they're mad. If the coach is yelling and upset and he's trying to invoke an emotion, just like your girl would be yelling and upset trying to invoke any emotion, the goal is not that I'm even mad. Is I want you to show me that you care about what we're doing. That's all I'm saying. But you said earlier, only if you meet emotion, it only can end in a bad way. I'm saying no. Sometimes people want you to meet emotion for positive things too. It just depends on the situation.
Because I want to use the example, but I'm like. It
just don't gotta be only.
When I'm saying but the reason why I'm talking about, I'm not saying it because it's nothing wrong with your coach doing that and getting you amped up. I'm talking about when we're angry. That's why I'm literally was like when you said when somebody walks in and they're feeling like this and all that, and you just still be polite and all that. That's what I'm saying, because then you can make a situation worse. If that person walked in angry and doing that, and you met them with anger. Now it could be a shootout afterwards is what I'm saying.
But also, in that scenario, which I have seen, it can also be like, oh, we even now. I met my match a little. Sometimes when people come in with that attitude and you kind of be a little just not, it may be for me, it may be in a comedic way, but like okay, hey, where my glasses at? Well, what they look like? And they be like, all right, my name is this, and it'll defuse situation. I'm just saying, I don't like dealing in only. I'm saying, I'm just presenting scenarios where it's not only those cases. It could be any range of emotions where you can meet, and it can also bring the level down. Because sometimes as a man, if you hit that certain octave in that level in that conversation, it may offset everything. Because now it's like, all right, hold on. I'm not for this conversation going this way anymore. I have to show you that I can also meet this energy in my manly way. Like, you're not about to scream and holler at your girl, but you're gonna be like, hey, yo, let's take a second, chill out for a moment, and then we come back.
What you keep saying is,
but that's you getting angry.
that's not me. That's not making the same energy then, because you said you're not yelling. Like, you don't got to yell, but you can be
we're
firm.
matching energy doesn't mean the same action.
And that's what I kept going to. I was like, if somebody's foaming out the mouth, if you go into foaming out the mouth at them, it can create something serious.
And I'm saying you can show that energy without foaming at the mouth. I'm just
saying.
That's
the whole point of what I'm trying to say, Jay. Like, that's the whole point. I keep saying, like, that's why I keep telling people, don't, like, you can't do that. There is a way. That's what I'm agreeing with you. That's why I'm like,
and again, I have agreed with you too, sir. I'm saying the only part I am speaking for is when you said only.
But I'm just saying, I'm literally talking about if you're angry and feel I just
presented examples to why even when you're angry, sometimes that can help a situation.
But the example you're using is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that's why I'm like, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. But I'm like, that's still not meeting the same energy. That's why I said you can show your caring by not yelling back. And that's what, and you just said you don't do that. Like, you, that's why I'm like, yo, sometimes.
But again, and I just said sometimes I need to.
But I don't want to keep confusing people. That's why I'm like, no.
It's not confusing. No, I have my argument. You have yours.
It can confuse somebody because I keep saying, because then you keep saying but, and I'm like, and I'm literally saying, bro, I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm saying, and for only is where I present my argument. That can reign true and sit true, and your argument can sit true. There is no confusion there. We can disagree on this thing as far as it being what emotions can cause the outcome. That's my only.
I think because you got so wrapped on only, I'm talking.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that.
But that's what I'm saying where it can confuse people.
And I'm saying only in a situation can take somebody
Do
out of it.
you understand what's going on? Yeah. No, I'm saying like what my message is.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what both of y'all saying. Like, well, but it's like you just speaking on a specific point. He's using it like a universal point. It's like you said, y'all both clearly saying the same thing.
I'm just clarifying one part.
But like you just said, like 20 minutes ago, when you use but, that negates everything. That's why I keep saying you're right. I'm just not talking about like, okay, if I say only, then I don't mean. But I'm saying you're meaning. But I'm saying because you were giving examples of ways you can do it. You just said, yo, I don't have to meet foaming at the mouth. I can get firm, but make sure I'm talking. But I'm saying what I'm saying is when I see people meet the energy of foaming at the mouth, it's not good. That's why I use the example of.
And again, in that, just so I clarify, that is an action. You can, just like I said, what I mean was that when I don't match energies, I stay at a certain space. If even getting firm in the tone is you matching the energy, I'm just saying the action, the foaming in the mouth. Some people don't have that reaction. Like, yo, the person this is what I'm saying. The person that might shoot you might not foam back out the mouth. They might just grin their teeth and go get active. That's all. It's the same aggression though, but they just decide to take it to levels that wherever it fits in their action.
To get there. That's why I said, like, if somebody walks in foaming at the mouth,
you can yell at the wrong nigga in the street today and it's over. That's this city. If somebody cut you off. And you like, yo, why the fuck you cut me? These kids is acting, and because of that, the rest of the population in the city is very trigger happy today.
But I'm literally talking about somebody like you're around and like intimate, like that. That's what I was saying. Like,
well, you just bring up the older example, and then you said negate and now okay, it's cool.
Yeah, because that could still be somebody intimate, like that I'm close with. If they're younger, I'm like, yo, because I would have to know that you don't have bills or responsibilities. So I'm like, yo, I'm not going to go back and forth with you where I'm like really angry because I'm like, yo, because you can be really angry, but I know you're not at a mental space yet to do that. I'm talking about for us that are in the mental space. So it's certain things that we don't do where I saw where the outcome wasn't always good with somebody who may not be like, because, women are naturally emotional. So that's why you may accept or like I may accept, okay, if they're at a certain point, but as a man, okay, I'm not going to necessarily match that energy because I know it's just not going to be good because then now neither one of us is going to hear. And what's the famous quote? They say never argue with fools because people from a distance can't tell who is who. And I'm saying when I'm hearing someone argue and they're they're both foaming at the mouth. Nobody's hearing nothing. There's no way to because you're not foaming out the mouth, you can and you're being stern. You're thinking a little more logically, so you can keep it from going a certain place. as long as like people keep their hands to themselves and all that. But I'm just saying, like, but if we're just having like real dialogue, you can be like, you can keep in a space like, yo, this ain't gonna bother me because I can understand this person doesn't understand. I may have to get firm with them, but I'm not gonna meet their energy because then it's just not gonna be good. Nobody's gonna hear nothing because now they're mad that you're mad, but you're mad because they're mad. And that's what I'm saying. Like where it's like, that's what I'm saying. The examples like of what you say, like you say, yo, she may feel like this, but I don't necessarily match that. I may match like the firmness, but I don't match the, oh, I'm gonna start calling you out your name and all that. Not saying that happens to you, but I'm just saying like matching the, oh, I'm calling you out your name and everything, like, because like I said, it can turn to something else. Just like we were saying with the young boys, like I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not, well, for one, I'm not really in business. It's like if we were sitting here arguing about like something on the Shade Room or loving hip hop or something, and we're sitting there, man, I'm like, bro, I'm not about to really argue with nobody about something like that, like, and foaming at the mouth. So that's why I said, like, like we can debate, yes, but I'm like, but when too much of the matching the energy of what we see and what's brought to us. So I agree with you, like, yo, sometimes we do got to learn how to just, yo, just because that's what they're feeling, it doesn't mean you have to feel like that or you have to take that burden on. So that's why I'm like, sometimes, like, even if one of y'all mad, it's like, even our debates, like some of the times, like we're both yelling at each other one of the times, but it's still like we know we're not being disrespectful because we know like nobody's calling nobody out their name. We're keeping it a certain level. We like doing that. But I'm like, yo, but when other people do that, it's like sometimes you really do have to be careful, especially somebody you close with, and you know if they don't really know. But I was just going back like off your point of the matching like people like energy. Sometimes like you don't have to take that on just because you're foaming at the mouth doesn't mean I have to be like, because then we won't resolve nothing because now we're both foaming at the mouth, calling each other out our names. Now we want to put hands on each other, and then now the situation just went like even worse than where it had to get to. So, but like I said, but we agree with each other.
I just speaking for the other side when the times you need to.
But I'm saying, but you're not that person. You're gonna keep a level head.
And I'm saying at times I learned to get to that level with them to sometimes get them to understand that I feel exactly what they're feeling. Yeah. Some people just want emotion out you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but like I said, but like you said, it doesn't have to be if somebody like you don't have to do it in a way of you calling people out their name and everything. Like, cause sometimes,
well, those are actions, but I'm saying whatever it might be. I'm saying for your girl, her cussing get you out your name is trying to get you to feel a certain thing. Hey, logically, I may understand you completely, but I don't care about that right now. Right now, my feelings are hurt. I want you to show some emotion while addressing my hurt feelings.
But at the same time, why is that fair to you? If they're calling you out your name and you don't like that, it's like you can get firm, but sometimes because I realize like, yo, when you match people's energy, that's why I keep saying things don't get resolved. You're able to understand this person just wants emotion out of me, and some people want it for the bad reason, just to say, oh, now look at you yelling at me. Well, oh, you standing up now just because you're mad. So it's like sometimes, yo, I'm not gonna give you what you want, but I'm engaged so I can give you what you want. But it's more of the
sometimes I might give you what you want and it'll get us to a better place.
Yeah, but not always. Yeah. Give you what you want, but not in the way that you necessarily think like you have to match the same way. That's why I said if she's yelling at the top of the young, you can match, but you can match dialogue. Like that's why one of the things I be saying now too is like raise your words, not your voice. Like if you don't like when I raise my voice, don't raise your voice to me. And we can keep it and we can have dialogue. We can or if we're going to talk with passion, we're not calling each other out each other's name. But because like I said, if you say
don't raise your voice, is usually a response after you raise yours because they have raised theirs.
And
right?
That's what I'm saying.
But because you raised your voice, now they're at a point to understand that they was raising theirs. Like now it's like, yo, why you raising your voice? Because you're raising your voice. All right, now let's calm down.
Not all the time.
That's why I'm speaking of just the off times when that is the case. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's the reason why you learn how to do it a different way. Instead of just like, oh, now I'm not just yelling because, like I said, some of the times it's like it becomes okay, like I'm like just so you can hear that you're the only one yelling. I'm not going to meet that level. I'm gonna just tell you like, yo, just pay attention to what you're doing. You're yelling at the top of your lungs, and I'm talking to you like this. So we can talk, we can get to the bottom of the situation, but we don't have to be at the top of our lungs. And sometimes that's when they really see it, because it's like, no, you hear you the only one making echoes off the wall.
Someone we might call you a narcissist in a way, because in a sense may have raised their emotions that high, and now they're trying to kill them with your even calmness, even though you got me to this point. Is why, that's what I'm saying. And not every case scenario.
Did you walk in doing something intentional to do that?
I mean, as a human being, whatever actions you take has repercussions, and other actions going to take place. Even if I wasn't intentionally, I can unintentionally hurt somebody's feelings. It happens a lot.
Sometimes, especially with a woman, you can show like,
right. So in a sense,
I care, but I don't have to yell at you.
So in a sense, as somebody who has this even kill personality when it comes to any type of situation, I have learned in my current relationship and previous relationships that when I give the emotion, that diffuses the situation enough, because now they see that, all right, you actually care. So now I'm going to calm down and maybe listen to what you're saying, even because you were saying it's even kill tone, acting like this don't matter, even though you the one that maybe got me up to where I matter this much. I couldn't have cared. I don't know why you was home an hour late, but the way you acting like, oh, this nonchalant, this don't matter, is like, well, no, fuck that. You be like, yo, I was late, and you communicate the way in that matter. Whole situation could be diffused, where if you when I've stayed even kill, this could last a day or two now, because I'm like, whatever.
But I feel like if we're adults, we should be able to have dialogue without yelling at the top of our lungs. Now, being nonchalant, that's different. If you're just like, oh, whatever. Like, I'm just like, no, I said, no, you engage. You can make them feel like that without having to be yelling at the top of your lungs. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, no. And that's all I'm trying to help people do. Like, yo, sometimes don't match people's energy. You can still talk. You can be like, but it's some people, they get in arguments for nothing, literally for nothing, and grown as hell. And it's like, yo, like, and that's why I say sometimes it's like, yo, we should be grown enough to have dialogue and have a debate. Like, even if we're having a debate, even if we are yelling, but neither one, but we know how to not be mad. You can have your view, I can have my view, but we don't have to get disrespectful or anything. And that's why I said, like, because then, like I said, if you started doing something, if we're having a debate, and then you throw out, oh, you bitch, like, but you a bitch ass, and all that, and then I say that, now it's a whole different issue where we didn't have to, when we could have kept. But I'm saying, us as men and friends, we can know that. I'm just telling, like, for the younger generation coming up, yo, just get a hold on that, because sometimes what I say, especially if you're grown and you tripping off of certain things, I'm a question, yo, you gotta find some peace in your life. If you're like that mad over something that we can, like, I'm not saying you can't be bothered, but we're grown enough to where we can have dialogue where we're not yelling at the top of our lungs and about to put hands on each other. Why is we're not young anymore? That's young shit to me. And so I'm like, I know people go through it, but I'm just like, yo, at a certain age, it's like, yo, I'm just not doing. That's the reason why I use the example of like, yo, I'm not about to really be angry and yelling at the top of my lungs with somebody that don't got real responsibilities. Because it's like, yo, you ain't gonna be able to understand what I'm saying anyway. So the best approach is to be a little more chill and talk.
Man, you gotta watch it when you argue with them kids anyway. They might say some shit and make you rethink your whole life because they see it from a different level. Be like, y'all, no, the reason your ass broke is because you do this, this, and this. And you be like, shut the fuck up, nigga. Like, hey, you made a lot of, hey, shut up, nigga, let me call my accountant. Why the fuck am I doing this?
But I think that was good. Did you want to say something, Mr. Playboy?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm just here.
But we thank y'all for tuning in to the King Status Podcast. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Yes,
you have been with me, your host, Mr. More the King, along with
EdBuck LC, a.k.a. Playboy Bucky.
Mr. Prolific, a.k.a. J. Duce.
If
Do say so.
Myself. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and remember, nobody can fit the crown that's meant for you. And
Shout out Magic on the ones and twos.
Shout out Magic on the ones and twos, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah.